check, 1, 2.
Go! Curious about real estate? Yes! Then you've come to the right place. Get the knowledge you need, get over the fear, and get started. This is the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show with your host, Michael Quarles.
Hello, everybody. Michael Quarles with podcast number 84. Today we have 5 questions sent in by investors like yourself who had a question and needed an answer. And remember, if you have a question, send it to support@bsffacademy.com. One more time, support@bsffacademy.com. Here we go. Question number 1. I worked with this seller back a couple months ago when I wasn't pulling comparable sales in the area. I thought the property would be worth $130,000. She owed $63,000 and I offered her $83,000, and she was close to taking it. I did pull comps and saw that the property is worth $230,000 rehabbed with a $20,000 budget. I'm meeting her again this week. She said she'd been thinking about calling me. Close to $100,000 possible here, but I wonder how much is too much in one deal. So I think the question is how much is too much in one deal? Is a little silly. Because let's face it, if we're buying $1 million houses and our business model says we buy them at 60 cents, that means that's a $400,000 transaction. If our business model said we were buying up 20%, that would be a $200,000 transaction. So you have to fit your business model. So you have to ask that question of yourself first. How much do you have to make per transactions to cover overhead and lifestyle? And then once you decide that, you should be able to fall forward and answer that question for yourself. I don't think making $100,000 is unreasonable at all. Not at all. And if you feel like it is, then it is. So if your thought process says, no, I don't want to make more than $99,000, well, then offer an extra $1,000 and be done with it. But we can't let, I don't think, the emotion enter into our business model. We're doing things morally and ethically and legally. We're doing them logically, and so we have numbers that we have to meet. And we can be sympathetic and empathetic and caring and honorable and liked and loved by our prospects. But the reality is this is our business. This is a business. And I don't think you'll find any business that says that making too much money isn't their business model. That's our I guess our goal. Now, personally, I have given back money to sellers who needed the money more than I did. And if that's the case that you're in, then you fall forward and say, hey, you need the money more than I do. I had a nurse that was dying, and it was obvious that for the last few months of her life, if I can make that better by not making as much on the property, then that would be better for me and her. And so I gave her more than she asked. And I just think sometimes that's the right thing. But in short of those situations, no, I don't have an issue at all saying, hey, I'm making $100,000, $200,000, whatever that number is. And again, if you are having that as an issue, look at your business plan. Write out a business plan, say, hey, this is what my minimum take is per transaction. This is my cost. We should all know, and maybe we don't, but we should all know every time the phone rings what it costs us. Every time it rings, what did that call cost us? But there's another number we ought to know too. Every time it rings, what did we just earn? So when you can manage your business with numbers like that, and you know that you're spending X dollars on your marketing, and the cost of being in business and all that kind of stuff, and you get X amount of calls, well, you can divide those two numbers and you can say, hey, every time phone rings, it costs me whatever. And then you also can do that same thing. Well, on average every month when I spend that I'm earning this amount of money, and so divide your calls into that. Now you know how much you make every time the phone rings. And I think those are important things to know when you run a business. And so don't beat yourself up. 100,000 is great. Congratulations. Question number 2. I'm going to run out of cash soon on these deals. What do you guys do when you have no money to buy equity? I would almost rather eat the house than wholesale them for $2,000. Yeah, but you might eat the wrong parts. Nails don't taste good. Here's what you do. You start talking. Remember that center of influence I talked about I always talk about my center of influence. Let's talk about your center of influence. Let's talk to your center of influence. Tell them that you're buying houses. Some of those people in your center of influence want to be silent investors. Grab them. Give them a little bit of a thank you, pat on the back, maybe give them more share than you should, kind of thing. You know, you can go down and I always talk about finding hard money guys, equity lenders kind of thing. Give them more money than you should, because let's face it, if you can't do a deal that makes you 60 grand because of money, but if you can give someone $20,000 who has the money, then and make 40,000, which one's better? Not making the 60 and being greedy about it and say, well, I'm not going to share it with anybody because I'm not that nice of a guy or gal. Or I'm going to give someone a third of it because they have the money. Well, a third of a deal is real expensive, but you know what? It's not as expensive as not doing the deal. So work on your center of influence. Work on your talking to your lenders. Find those people. Talk to those agents that know hard money people. There's all kinds of people out there that have money. You can't advertise for it, but once you have a relationship with someone, you can talk to them all day long. So be doing those kinds of things. You know, our job is to constantly be networking for those opportunities. It's not just to be networking for opportunities to buy. And if we think it is, shame on us. Now, there is a rollover once you understand that you have a rollover, but even myself, you know, I buy a lot of houses, and every once in a while, I can't buy them all that come at me at the same time. Let's face it. I mean, there are some of us that are independently wealthy. I don't qualify yet. So, and I'll admit that. Question number 3. I am about to get a contract signed on a house. Congratulations. The owner is ready to sell and very, very motivated. However, there is some significant damage on one of the walls in the basement, and neither the seller nor I know how much it will cost to do the repair. Do I need to have the wall checked before I get it under contract? No. You can write the contract contingent upon getting that estimate done. So you can say, as an example, purchase price to be $100,000 with $5,000 allocated for the wall, or not to exceed $5,000, or not to exceed $10,000, whatever it is, and have a set number there. If cost to repair the wall goes over $5,000, the sales price will be reduced by that overage. You can do all kinds of things. You can renegotiate after you get it under contract. Get under contract. Having something under contract, so much better. So much better. So don't even think about, do I get something under contract? You always get something under contract.
Thanks for listening to Buy, Sell, Fix, Flip. We'll be right back. Are you running out of leads? It's time you tried Yellow Letters at yellowletters.com. Get motivated seller leads through yellow letters, postcards, zip letters, typed professional letters, greeting cards, door hangers, and business cards. Yellow Letters is a full-service marketing company created with your success in mind. Get the personal attention you need to get your direct mail campaign started, and get in touch at yellowletters.com.
And we are back in 3, 2, 1.
Question number 4. Which type of marketing is bringing in the best returns? Or what percentage of deals come from each marketing category? Pre-foreclosure, short sale, blah, 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 blah. Which type of marketing brings in the best ones? The type of marketing you do. Some people don't have the money to do some of the mainstream marketing that we do, so they have to go out there and cold call, work their center of influence like a bad dog. And reward's going to come from that. So the best type of marketing that brings the best results is the marketing that you do. You can literally write on a piece of paper, I buy houses, please call this phone number, wad it up, put it in an envelope, send it to somebody. You're going to get a call from someone that unwads that wadded up piece of paper and calls you. They don't have no idea why they do, but they do. So any type of marketing works. What best category works the best? Well, we all kind of know that one. If we're in equity flippers, equity properties, people that have money in property or equity in the property, 30% or more. And you can filter off of that. I mean, the owner-occupieds or absentees, we're seeing about 40% of our business is coming from owner-occupied, so I kind of like them. And there's more of them, which is great, kind of thing. So if there's more owner-occupants and 40% of the business comes from them, I'm going to absolutely stick to them. I'm not doing any pre-foreclosures or shorts anymore. Don't need to. In the old days, 4 or 5 years ago, yeah, that's all we were doing because that's all the fruit that we had. And so we had to eat what was out there available to eat. So short sales and foreclosures were it. But now there's no reason to do it. I mean, you're only going to get 1 in 4 anyway. So every 4 contracts you get under contract, or houses you get under contract, one's going to close. Well, that's a lot of work for nothing. I'd rather go out there and deal with a seller that can sell me a house that has equity and go from there. From marketing pieces and return rates and all that, just do it until you got to do enough until you succeed. And some of us, I know it's going to sound like I'm just busting someone today, and I'm not really, but some people, yeah, we need to eat. And yes, we need to drink. And yes, we need to have nice clothes. And yes, we need to have all the little things in life that, make us feel good. But dang it, if we don't have enough marketing dollars, let's not eat so much. If we don't have enough marketing dollars, let's not get the best bottle of wine. I mean, my goodness. I'm not saying go down to the box wine if you like wine, but I'm saying let's curb it a little bit. Man, if you bought yourself a $25 bottle of wine and splash that with you and your significant other one evening, if a yellow letter or let's call it a little postcard. Postcards cost what, 45 cents. If I divided 45 cents into that bottle of wine, you could have 100 postcards going out there. That's 1.5 calls for a bottle of wine. Is it worth it? I would say it's not worth it. I say that wine's not worth it. If you're going to go to dinner and you're going to spend $200, man, what is that? 400 postcards? I'd rather put the postcards in the mail. Sacrifice a little bit. I mean, my goodness. It seems like some people just want, everything given to them on this golden platter or whatever it is. My gosh, we got to work for this stuff. We have to take sacrifices, and that's what it's all about. I mean, and then when you succeed, then do whatever you want at that point. But in the beginning, understand that you have to do the more marketing you can do, the better. I always ask people, my coaching students, how much can you budget for marketing? And everybody gives me the stock answer, the same one. I mean, maybe they're not trying hard enough, and I love my coaching students. So if you guys, I love you, so I appreciate you, and I'm not ragging on you. But man, do something to do more marketing. Man, I want your phone to ring more. When you guys call me and they go, well, my phone's not ringing. Well, there's other things we can do. We can make someone else's phone ring, like calling them. We can say, hey, my name's Michael Quarles. Well, I buy houses. I'm looking for 3 and 4 bedroom homes in your neighborhood. And I was wondering, who do you know that's planning on moving? And call everybody that has a car for sale. Call everybody that's doing a garage sale. Cold greet like a madman or a madwoman, and work that center of influence. Call back those past prospects every 15, 30, 60, and 90 days. You can be doing something to make your phone ring and make opportunity happen. So what we don't want to do is be working on bad opportunity. And that's what some people get into, is they start working on the deal that's not the deal. I mean, they're sharpening their pencil so sharp that, man, it hurts when they poke themselves. I mean, that's not a deal. A deal is the deal that says, I'm a deal. You don't have to sharpen your pencil. And just get out there and just spend some more money on marketing. Just do it. I mean, wear some polo shirt that says, I buy houses. Pass out those red and yellow business cards. What's a box of those things cost? $30? Man, leave them places. Don't be embarrassed to be a real estate investor. Go out there and kill some houses. Question number 5. Suppose I go through the Alex and Ryan scripts over the phone with a motivated seller, and we agree on the price and get the contract signed. Then, when my local professional goes out and inspects the house, it's nowhere near the condition the seller says it is and needs a ton of repairs. What should I do in this situation? Have you ever had this opportunity? Absolutely. Some sellers lie to us all the time. But we can only go by what they say. The moment we can contradict what they said by a professional opinion, then we can go back to them and renegotiate or do what we need to do, or even cancel the contract. And if you read the Ryan the Alex script, it's very, 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 very specific. It says, we ask them, you need to tell me the truth because we're going to have these inspections done. And if we've been doing it so long that it's really hard to pull the wool over our eyes. I mean, can you even say that expression anymore? But I just did. Anyway, we've been doing it so long, nothing's new. I mean, you can't disguise it to us. But some sellers think they can, and, we're going to do our due diligence. Here's what I'm doing to do my due diligence at this very moment. The further away is from my hub, because I know my hub pretty well. But say if I'm into Sacramento buying a house, I am going to get absolutely a BPO. It's going to cost me $100. I'm going to get another opinion on cost to rehab it, that's going to cost me $100. So I'm going to spend $200. If those two numbers come back to me adequately, that I can fall forward, I'm going to spend another $325 on a full bore appraisal. So before I absolutely get anywhere close to closing, I'm going to spend $525 on a full appraisal, a BPO, and a repair report. So I know exactly. And the reason I do that is because, you know what? We have to use the highest and best use of our money at all times. And I find that that's the best use of my money, is to make sure that my money is safeguarded. It's our check and balance system. And you always have to have a check and balance system. You can't just be free willy spending money. Just because you think you know something doesn't mean you in fact do know it. Okay? Been a lot of people that have been wrong in life, and it's okay if we're wrong. If we think something's worth something else and 2 professionals or 3 professionals say it's not, and if we have hired those professionals to tell us the truth, then we've also given them the permission to tell us the truth and accept that their opinion is professional. And so our egos shouldn't get in the way and say, no, you guys are wrong. I think it's worth this. No, they're not wrong. You get 3 professionals telling you that you're wrong, you're the one that's wrong. And what they're there for is to save you and save your money for you. And so look at it that way, and that's just our system that we have for check and balance. Man, it's a little longer one today than it has been lately, but it feels good. Maybe I was just talkative, in a good mood. Hey, I appreciate you guys sending in your questions. Remember, we've got the forum going. Load up that forum with questions. And I appreciate everybody that follows along. And if I've helped anybody, I appreciate that too. Remember, we've got the coaching program going on. And until next time, talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Michael Quarles Real Estate Show. Get more info and stay in touch at michaelquarles.com.